So I'm going to make an intermediate stop before I simplify it, because that seems to be what your book is doing. So 3 cubed, x to the 0. What is x to the 0? Isn't that just 1? And isn't 1 cubed just 1? We don't even have to write it down, do we? Y cubed over k to the what? K to the 4 cubed. Okay, so 3 cubed is 27. Y cubed over k, 4 times 3 is 12. Now, I'm thinking your book is going to leave it that way, because that's the way it initially came out. And besides, that's simplified, isn't it? The only thing they could change is if they wanted to move this to the numerator, which I don't know why they would want to do that. So 27y cubed over k to the 12. And hey, we got one right. They did it just that way. All right, so here we go with this last one. Okay, so I'm going to stop where the book tells you to leave it, and then we'll finish it if we need to. So 2 to the 0 is 1, and 1 raised to the 15 power is 1. We don't even need to address that, do we? X to the negative 2 raised to the 15. Well, when I raise a power to a power, I multiply. So I get x to the negative 30. Y to the 4 raised to the 15. 4 times 15 is 60. So I get y to the 60 over z to the 15. Now, I'm thinking that's the way your book's going to leave it, because your book seems to be leaving it just simply doing the problem. Okay, so that is exactly the way that your book leaves the answer. But I am going to say, let's leave it in positive exponents. So if we were going to leave it in positive exponents, we would slide this downstairs. If we were going to leave it with all variables in the top, the z would go upstairs, wouldn't it? So, since most books are going to require you to leave with positive exponents, I'm just going to go ahead and slide the x to the 30 downstairs, take that off of there, and I'm going to say that's a better answer than the one you have in the book, but it is equivalent to the one you have in the book. On the last part of this section, we get to do conversions of volume, which is one of my favorites. So it says use 3 unit multipliers to convert 180 cubic feet to cubic inches. So what we're going to do is we're going to take 180 cubic feet, and we're going to write this as 180 times feet times feet times feet, because that's what cubic feet means. And then we're going to multiply by 3 unit multipliers. So to get from feet to inches, because in our answer, don't we need inch times inch times inch? So we're going to say 12 inches is 1 foot times 12 inches is 1 foot times, can I squeeze one more? You think I can squeeze one more? 12 inches is 1 foot. Because we have to change each one of the feet into inches. Now, look what happens. This foot cancels this foot cancels this foot, and this foot cancels this foot. And we are left with 180 times 12 inches times 12 inches times 12 inches. And now I have inches times inches times inches is inches cubed. And now I need to do this math. So 180 times 12 times 12 times 12 inches cubed. Let's see what that is. Well, that's nice. That's one of the things I love about Saxon books. They just let you leave it just like this. This is the answer they gave you. So we don't have to multiply it out. We leave it in factors here. 180 times 12 times 12 times 12 inches cubed. And we don't have to do it any further. Okay, so this one's a little spicier. we're going to use 6 unit multipliers. So I'd better conserve space on my board, right? So we're going to convert 800 cubic centimeters. So we're going to start out with 800 centimeter, 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 because that's cubic centimeters. And we're converting it to cubic feet, which would be feet times feet times feet. And we're allowed to use 6 unit multipliers. So first, we don't have an easy conversion from centimeters to feet, but we do have an easy conversion from centimeters to inches. So let's do that first. So we're going to multiply by 2.54. 1.1 inch is 2.54 centimeters. I almost forgot the conversion factor. 1 inch is 2.54 centimeters. 1 inch is 2.54 centimeters. Okay? So now that would get rid of centimeters, 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 centimeters. Now I'm in inches, and I can easily get from inches to feet. So I'm going to multiply 3 more conversions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I was supposed to use 6. So now I'm going to put in inches is going to go on the bottom. So 12 inches, let's just put inches right below it, is 1 foot. Okay, so 12 inches is 1 foot. And then 1 foot is 12 inches. So now inches cancels inches, inches cancels inches, inches cancels inches. Whew. So now what do I have? 800. All of that canceled out. All of the numerator canceled out. So on the bottom, I should have 2.54, 2.54, 2.54. Okay, so now I took care of all of that. All of that's just 1. And then down here, I've got 12, 12, 12. 12. And then feet cubed is my unit. So I would really put feet cubed outside, but I have such a long, so 800. We'll put the 800 a little bit better in the center. 800 over 2.54 times 2.54 times 2.54 times 12 times 12 times 12. All of that feet cubed. Okay, so here we are on our practice set, and we have A, B, C, D, and then we'll be done. So copy off your problem and then pause your video and see if you leave it in the correct form. I'm going to give you both forms. One the way the book's leaving it, and then one the way that is a little bit more simplified so that you can take your pick. Okay? So, pause your video. Hopefully you did that. 3 to the 0 is 1. So we have 1 to the negative 3 and 1 to the any power. We just don't have to mess with it. We can just, it's gone. So y to the negative 2 raised to the negative third. Negative 2 times power raised to a power is negative 2 times negative 3 is 6. So we get y to the 6th. Z to the 5 raised to the negative third. 5 times negative 3 is negative 15. And then x to the third raised to the negative 3 is x to the negative 9. Now, this is the way your book has been leaving it. But that's really in none of the forms you're going to see it in another textbook, because your book's either going to tell you to put all variables on the top, or it's going to tell you to leave positive exponents. So if we were going to leave all variables on the top, then we would have y to the 6, z to the negative 15, x to the 9. We would raise this up, and now all my variables are on the top. That would be an acceptable way to leave it if they were telling you to leave it with all variables on the top in the numerator. But what if they told you to leave all variables positive, which is more common? Okay, so then we would leave it y to the 6th. Z to the negative 15 would go downstairs and become z to the 15, x to the 9. This is how you're going to see it left most often. This is the general rule. Okay, so this is the way your book probably left it. This is the way you could leave it if you're leaving all exponents in the numerator, all variables in the numerator. And this is the way you're going to see it most often on a test or a textbook, because this is all positive exponents and that's the norm. Okay, we got a lot of work on this one. So what we're going to do is go ahead and expand this one, and then we've got to put them together. So we've got x to the negative 4, y to the positive 4, over 3 to the negative 2, m, that's a 4 right there, so that's going to be a negative 8, k to the negative 2. Okay, so that's just taking care of that exponent. Now let's go over here and just take care of this exponent. So times y to the negative 4, m to the 2, over x to the 6, k to the 2. All right, so now I haven't canceled anything out yet, but let's see what we can do. Okay, now let's just leave it like this and see what falls out naturally. A lot falls out, doesn't it? Okay, so what if I just multiplied y to the 4 and y to the negative 4? When I multiply like bases, don't I just add their exponents, and y to the 0 is 1? Those just cancel out. You don't have to do anything with them. Okay, what about the same thing for a k to the negative 2 and a k to the 2? When I multiply those together, just like I would a fraction, denominator by denominator, I end up with k to the 0, which is 1. Those two just cancel out. Okay, so now let's see what we have left. We have only one numeric value, and it's in the denominator, and it's negative exponent. So let's just make it easy and move it upstairs. So we're going to move this one upstairs and make this a 3 squared or a 9, and that one cancels out. All we have left is x's and m's, don't we? All right, so we have an x to the negative 4, and down here we have an x to the 6. So what if we just moved this x to the negative 4 downstairs and made it an x to the 4, and that one cancels out. So now I've got an x to the 6 and an x to the 4 downstairs. And when I multiply, I add. So I get an x to the 10 downstairs. And those two cancel out. Now, what if I just take this m to the negative 8 and move it upstairs and make it an m to the 8, and that one cancels out. So now, hasn't everything down here gone away? And I have an m to the 8 and an m to the 2 multiplied together gives me an m to the 10. That guy's gone anyway, so I'm going to take his space. And then the 9 is in the numerator, so 9 m to the 10 over x to the 10. That came out pretty nicely, didn't it? 9m to the 10 over x to the 10. Okay, so next to the last practice problem, use 3 unit multipliers to convert 75 cubic inches. So that's inches times inches times inches. To our goal is cubic centimeters, which is centimeters times centimeters times centimeters. So that's where we're trying to go. But we're going to use 3 unit multipliers. So 1, 2, 3. And we're trying to get to centimeters. And inches to centimeters has an easy conversion, right? We have 1 inch, so 1 inch should be in the bottom. because we want centimeters to wind up on top. So we're going to say 2.54 centimeters. 2.54 centimeters is 1 inch. 2.54 centimeters is 1 inch. Inches cancels inch. Inch, 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 inch. And we're left with centimeters times centimeters times centimeters, which is what we wanted. Okay, so now what is our takeaway here? So 75 times 2.54 times 2.54 times 2.54. And then we can write that centimeters cubed. Okay, 75, 2.54, 3 times centimeters cubed. And that is the way we get to leave our problem answer. This is exciting. This is our last problem, and it's a doozy. 6-unit multipliers. Okay, so we're going to start with 28 cubic meters is meter times meter times meter. And we're wanting to, I'm going to put our little goal down here. Here's our goal. Inches times inches times inches. Right? That's what we're trying to get to. So we're going to use 6-unit conversions. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh no, I started them off too big. Let's make these a little bit smaller. So let's go M, 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 and that leaves me one more space and one more space. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's see what we're going to put there. So the M's want to turn into inches. I don't have a conversion of meters to inches, but I do have a conversion of inches to centimeters. So if I can get from meters to centimeters, I'll be good. So we know that there are 100 centimeters for every meter. Meters are on the top, so we want meters on the bottom, don't we? So we're going to say 100 centimeters is 1 meter. 100 centimeters is 1 meter, because we have 3 of these to change. 100 centimeters is 1 meter. Okay, so now meters cancels meters, meters cancels meters, meters cancels meters, and we're left with centimeters cubed. We're trying to get to inches cubed. So we have a conversion, don't we? We want centimeters, since centimeters are on the top, don't we want centimeters down the bottom? So we're going to say 2.54 centimeters is 1 inch. And we're going to do it again. 2.54 centimeters is 1 inch. And one more time, 2.54 centimeters is 1 inch. I think I deserve a reward for getting all of that somewhat legibly written in there. Okay, so now our centimeters cancels our centimeters on top, centimeters on bottom, centimeters on top, centimeters on the bottom. We're left with inches, 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 which is what we wanted. Okay, so we wanted inches, inches, inches left in our answer, because that's what they told us. So now we're going to have 28, and we have 3 things on the top. So 100, 100, 100. We also have 3 things on the bottom. 2.54, 2.54, 2.54, and then our units. And our units are inches, 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 but we wouldn't leave them that way. We would change them to inches cubed, and that would be an excellent way to leave your answer. And we are done with lesson 53. This is Mrs. A, and may God bless your day.